Welcome back to Friends Are Weird, your place for weird news and even weirder friends. I'm Joey.
And I'm Stone.
Stone, this week we're going to be a little different, but I hear you have an apology for our viewers.
Yeah, I'm really sorry, you guys. I know the last time we came back after a long break, first thing we said was that we would never do it again. We'd never have a long break. But as many of you know, as you know, Joey, I'm kind of a bird guy, and I handle a lot of birds. And came down with the fucking new type of bird flu, and it knocked me out. And I mean, we're back now, but before you go blaming China for this one, just know it came from Rio Rancho, New Mexico, and it's because I'm always catching pigeons and crows and eagles, and my bad. I didn't realize that the bird flu was actually real, and that was the thing you could get. But I'm back, baby, and I'm better than ever. We're mostly back to normal, anyways, and yeah, we're ready to record us an episode. How about you, Joe?
I'm ready. I'm excited. Where did you go, though? You said you flew.
No, I didn't. No, I see where the confusion is. I had a flu, which is it's that part of your chimney where the smoke coalesces before it.
And you were stuck there, and that's why we couldn't record. You're stuck in the chimney.
Just trying to catch the birds in my chimney. I actually had one of those last year. It was kind of terrifying. Yeah,
I remember. I also remember it just recently came up on my TikTok. I found your TikTok account that you never actually used, but you have the video of that time there was a snake in your house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was pretty terrifying. Should probably upload that to. We'll upload that to our channel too. But yeah, it was terrifying. It was a huge fucking snake that came into my house, and I battled it bravely.
Yep.
And didn't even scream at all.
Yep.
And I let it outside.
I'm proud of you, kid. Well, hey, this week we have something special in store, and this was a brainchild of yours. Do you want to let our viewers know what we're going to be doing today?
Well, I can't take all the credit for it because it's just a thing that happened because it's an election year. Mm-hmm. The debate between Kamala and Trump just happened finally, and it went completely fucking different than the Biden versus Trump debate. Like, honestly, it's amazing what happens when you put someone who isn't a dementia patient in charge of debating Trump. Like, it's like a night and day difference. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Kamala, I don't know if you guys have heard this or not, but Kamala obviously won. There's a lot of Republicans who are claiming that Trump won for some reason. I mean,
it's pretty obvious that he won. Haven't you seen the numbers? He won 92-8. You know, like, because apparently it's a basketball game or something, and there's a score.
According to every poll that you're gonna see on Twitter, because Twitter these days, Trump totally won. But there are actually a significant number of Republicans who are acknowledging the truth.
Oh yeah.
That he lost, but they're saying that it only happened because it was 3-1, which, I mean, it's kind of hard to dispute that. It kind of was 3-1, but I mean, he's fucking Trump. Like, what do you expect? He's not debating a dementia patient this time. And they asked him about all the things he's said and done in the past. I mean, how do you expect a fat, mentally handicapped rapist to have any shot of winning in those conditions? It's just not fair. And
in his defense, like you said, it was 3-1. But to be fair, it was only 3-1 because the moderators were fact checking. And I love there's a quote, and this is just kind of paraphrasing the quote, and I'm pretty sure it was by somebody on Trump's campaign team, but they were like, yeah, like everything that it may have even been Trump directly, but he's like everything that I said, they just they had to like point out the fact that they had to retort it and that it wasn't like true. Like he pretty much basically said, yeah, they called me out every time that I lied, and they never called Kamala out, but they called me out every time I lied.
And there are times that Kamala probably should have lied, like saying that she had a plan or anything at all, like to handle Israel, or to say that she's been against fracking, because it's literally only the worst people that are pro fracking. Like any town that fracking happens near, like their water from the tap is literally flammable and everyone gets sick and dies. Like she probably could have stuck to the party line, or at least like the talking points that gets them elected. Yeah, no, fuck fracking. That sucks, and we're not going to poison you, America. Like she probably should have lied instead of just being like, yeah, no, I mean, fuck you guys. I'm going to frack anyways. As if, I mean, that's a whole other can of worms. But yeah, for the most part, though, there wasn't really anything to fact check with her.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I mean, the reason Roe versus Wade was overturned is entirely on Trump. Well, and to some extent, Ruth Bader Ginsburg for never fucking stepping down before she died and girl bossing her way into a grave. But yeah, I mean, it was shit that needed to be called out, and then yeah, she performed competently. Who fucking knew?
Well, her strategy was, in my opinion, immaculate, because her strategy was like just bait Trump into existential rage the entire time. Like, and she did it through setting traps, but also like her face. I think just the way that she expressed herself and during the moments of him like just going off the rails. Yeah, exactly. That was enough to trigger him so badly that I saw there was a behind the scenes picture during one of the breaks. He had to like excuse himself from the stage, and he had to go backstage and kind of like recenter and try to bring himself back down because he was getting so angry the entire time.
Oh, dude, he looked apoplectic the entire time. and it was funny, the traps that she laid out. Like, everyone's calling them traps, and to some extent they kind of were. But I mean, they were like silly traps, like that shouldn't have worked. Like, instead of answering a question about like what she's gonna do, like about her border policies and shit, instead of answering that question, she's just like, what I'm gonna do is actually invite you to Trump's rallies. It is hilarious how many people are getting up and just walking out of these things. Nobody likes him, and they think he smells like shit, and he's a fat moron. Okay, hold on. Before I talk about the border, I will have you know that people are not walking out of my fucking rallies. And just, like, okay. I mean, that's one way to handle it, and it worked for her. Yeah, it definitely, like, I don't know, the people claiming that Trump, like, no one actually believes it if they've watched it. I mean, okay, I don't know, there's a lot of dumb Republicans out there who probably do believe it, but I doubt that they've actually watched more than 5 minutes of it. One of my favorite moments of the whole thing was when he brought up that stupid meme about how Haitian migrants are they're eating the pets. I know, because I saw it on TV. Like, it was insane how that was literally a thing that he said. Like, no, I saw it on TV. That's how I know it's happening.
Did you see the footage from the spin room later? And you might have to remind me of his name. Who's the like prominent Trump team guy who's like bald, tall, white bald guy?
Stephen Miller, that fucking Nazi.
Did you see? It was like semi-related to the Haitian dog thing, but it was just like immigrants in general and like the Venezuelan gang.
He was
like,
screaming in the face of a Venezuelan reporter, like
who was just openly calling him out the entire time, like saying, "Well, then provide me numbers. Provide me. Where are you getting those numbers?
Show me statistics, because you just recited some of Maduro's statistics. Are you saying that you believe Maduro over the border patrol?" And he's screaming, "Why do you want to kill babies? Huh? Why are you okay with raping and killing babies?" And just like apoplectic and purple in the face. Are you clipping your fingernails right now?
No. Why?
I keep seeing you look down and I keep hearing clip, clip, clip.
No.
You do that before the podcast, Joey.
I'm not doing that. What the fuck?
Okay, if you say so. We're gonna have to let the audience decide on the comments.
We'll put that up as a poll. I was taking these little. I had to fix this piece on my car, and I was taking these little things out of my pocket. So maybe you heard that. I don't know. I think you're tripping.
You're just doing car maintenance in the middle of our podcast.
I was just emptying my pockets. But anyway, yeah. So like, not only are Venezuelan gangs taking over apartment complexes in Aurora, there's Haitian immigrants who are stealing geese and eating cats and eating dogs, and the only proof that you have, I mean, I'm pretty sure not only was it the mayor of Springfield, as well as the city manager, as well as the police department, all were like, we have not had any reports of any of this. We don't know what the hell they're talking about. But when you ask J.D. Vance, he's like, well, this guy who lives there told me that his dog was taken, so it's fucking true.
And same thing in Aurora, Colorado, where the Venezuelans are supposedly taking over apartment buildings. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was one instance. I mean, there's probably several instances, but they're all like isolated of gang members showing up at apartment. Like, it's a city. Sure. I mean, Aurora is literally Denver. Like, yeah, I mean, there's going to be gangs and crime because that's what happens when there's a city. That cities are where commerce happens, and where there's poor people in a city, that's where crime happens. That's why it's important to, I don't know, service your communities. But like, it's just weird how, like, in the span of not even a month, like, they have tried and failed twice to just, like, straight up do a pogrom, like fucking Nazi Germany. Mm-hmm. And, like, no one believes it. And the police, I mean, the police especially are like, dude, you guys need to calm the fuck down. We're trying to do our job. And it's not going to help if you're inviting the Hells Angels to fucking come and do a pogrom for you. Like,
which wasn't even a real thing either.
Yeah,
like,
the Hells Angels weren't even planning on doing it. Like, no. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that, like, a trucker convoy of like 5 racist truckers didn't show up, because they often show up to things like that.
I kept seeing these. I kept seeing all these TikToks, and it was like the same. It was like the same footage or video of like a group of bikers, but it'd be posted by different accounts with like different captions to make it seem like it was like a fresh new recording or whatever. And it'd be like, point of view, the Hells Angels decide to take things into their own hands, and it would have that song, and you put a boat in your ass, it's the American way playing. Is like,
yeah, that 9/11 song.
And all these like MAGA people in the comments like, hell yeah, doing what our politicians are too scared to do. And it's like, you guys know this is fake. Like, this is not real at all.
Yeah, and to have the Hells Angels, like, to be rooting for the Hells Angels, a notoriously violent rapist gang, show up to get rid of the fucking violent, supposedly rapist gang that's already there. Like, what even is it? Like, it's not even a dog whistle anymore. It's like, no, we like crime so long as it's white guys.
Oh, for
It's
sure.
so fucking and like everyone who is rooting for the Hells Angels to come, like they're literally just stupid people who have watched Sons of Anarchy, a show about like not actually the Hells Angels, but like
Essentially,
a proxy Hells Angels in that universe, where literally the gang kills like 50 people in a shootout every single week for like $300 worth of goods. Like it's so ridiculous.
well, and the
The
whole
funny
thing. Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I was just gonna say the whole thing is like dripping with irony because, first off, it's ironic that they're rooting for a gang such as the Hells Angels. It's also incredibly ironic that just a few weeks after RFK decides to jump on the Trump bandwagon, that's when they're like, eating fucking pets is bad. And RFK's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like the man who it's just a matter of days before it comes out the time that he found a family full of beavers, decided to like wear one of them on his head like a hat, wear a couple of them on his hands like puppets, and another one on his penis, and then go to a Target. Like, because you know that's a story coming out. Like any day now, it's gonna come out what he did to a family of fucking capybaras. I mean, it's bad enough what he's already done to a whale, to a bear, to
that dog he supposedly ate,
dog, goat, like yeah. And part of the Haitian thing, I mean, it's hilarious. Like every respectable person in Springfield is like, hey, I fucking love these guys. Like they're like all the business owners, they're like, these guys actually show up for work on time and don't overdose in their car on lunch break every single day. And I'm sure there's some very fine people of Springfield, Ohio. I've never personally been there myself, but like Turning Point USA just put out a video where they had a boots on the ground journalist go around asking about the Haitians. Mm-hmm. And again, the police are like, yeah, no, most of them aren't committing crimes because they want to stay here legally, mm-hmm. which is most migrants to the U.S. Mm-hmm. Like, they just want to live their fucking lives. But this guy was interviewing just the most white trash. Like, it's exactly who you picture in your head when you think of like just the worst Ohioan. Oh, like fucking food stains all over their shirt. They're fat. Fucking lost a leg to the beatus. Drug addicts. Like there was literally like he was talking to this guy who was like, so are you getting along with the Haitian migrant population here? He's like, hell to the fuck no! I lost my job because of that. And like, there's an Amazon delivery guy walking down the street, and he stops what he's saying, points at him, and yells, "You get out of here, you N-word!" Like in the middle of this interview, like you couldn't have found someone more sympathetic. And they're like, they're eating the Canadian geese. Like, you fucking hillbillies hunt ducks, all of you. Like, what are you talking about? And like, they're all bitching about the food stamps that those people are supposedly getting while they get nothing. Like, okay, if they're getting thousands of dollars of food stamps, why do you think they need to eat your cat? Like, come on, man. Like, there is better meat at the grocery store. Maybe in Haiti they would eat cats because, you know, when you're hungry, meat is meat. But I mean, there's like freshly butchered. You don't have to butcher it yourself. There's more of it from a cow than on a cat. It's so ridiculous. like there's this some like obviously a tweaker, like missing teeth, this fucking skag looking woman who the Turning Point USA guy had interviewed, and she's like, and I lost my job at the grocery store like 10 years ago. Like, the migrants have been there for the last 2 years, and they're helping save your dying town.
Yeah.
They're the only ones that are fucking working.
Uh-huh.
And, like, all of them are complaining about, like, how bad they're all driving, like, because one of them got into a car accident, like, a year ago. And
I have seen that. I've seen, like, a lot of people on Reddit. There was like, I don't even remember what subreddit it was, but somebody was talking about, like, yeah, I live in Springfield, and the one thing that is true about all of this nonsense is that they're fucking terrible drivers. And apparently they are caught. There are a whole bunch of, like, wrecks and shit.
Yeah, but it's the Midwest, and it's illegal to drive not under the influence in the Midwest. I mean, like, okay, sure. But all of them are pointing to this, like, one accident that happened that killed an 11-year-old last year. And the dad is fucking furious that all these Nazis are coming to town, holding up, like, posters with his kid's face on it. He's like, fuck you guys. Like, I'm not a Nazi, and neither was my son, and he would be disgusted were he alive today and he knew what you guys were doing. So Trump had brought that up during the debate, which apparently he was inspired to do so by this lady, this Nazi Muppet named Laura Loomer, who I guess she ran for Congress in 2022 but lost. It used to be best good friends with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and now those two are fighting. Laura Loomer and Marjorie Taylor Greene, they've had this very public fight in the last week where she said the funniest fucking thing that I've ever heard in any political debate. She accused her of, like, being unable to contain the Arby's in her pants. Like, okay, so I was at work listening to someone, like, reading these tweets out loud, like, on YouTube. And I had to stop what I was doing, because that was the funniest fucking thing.
Well, you know what's crazy?
Arby's in your pants. Like, that is the state of American politics these days.
You know it's crazy. Like, you know your party's in shambles when Marjorie Taylor Greene is having to call you out and be like, hey, well, because Laura's over there tweeting, like, Kamala's gonna cook fucking curry in her bathtub and collard greens in the bathtub like it's a third world country, and the whole White House is gonna smell like curry, and you can only give feedback about the United States through a call center. And it's like, you know it's bad when Marjorie Taylor Greene has to be like, hey,
yeah,
that's fucking racist. You can't talk like
fucking
that.
The Jewish space lasers are the reason why wildfires happen every single year, lady. Like, that Marjorie Taylor Greene, like, and it's funny because, like, for one, it's only, like, very recently been a thing that, I mean, I guess it's never been okay, but it's, like, very suddenly been not okay to make fun of Asians. Like, like 5 years ago, everyone was going around doing the fucking eyes and, like, making fun of Asians, and like suddenly people are a lot more sensitive to it. It's weird
as they should be.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's never been okay, but, like, it's just weird that I don't know where I'm going with this, but I mean, like, calling out Kamala for her Asianness, and, like, that's what Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't know. We could cut that bit out. Or yeah, isn't it weird that it's not okay to make fun of Asians anymore? I mean, that's not what I'm what I mean. It is entirely what I just said, though. That was pretty fucked up. But yeah, like suddenly, it's just anti-Semitism is like probably the big. Pull yourself together, Joey. You okay? You okay?
I'm good. Are you good? I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It's just Marjorie is like all about the the anti-Semitism, the anti-black racism, but like suddenly she hears something anti-Indian. I mean, there was also that Indian dude who was in the Republican primaries too, who was chased out with pitchforks from the fucking party for being Indian, and it was the same kind of hate directed at him. And Marjorie was definitely on that bandwagon, like making fun of his fucking curry breath and shit, like just saying the most ignorant, racist dog shit. It's just interesting that like suddenly she's so woke that like even what she was saying like is a bridge too far against the Democratic head of the ticket. I guess that's that. Yeah, I still haven't articulated that well.
I get what you're saying. You're saying it's crazy that
you can't even make fun of Apu from The Simpsons anymore. What is this world coming to?
I get it. You're saying it's crazy that that's where like all of a sudden the line is drawn for her.
All of a sudden she's sensitive enough to stand up.
Yeah.
To that particular brand of racism, I guess is what I'm saying.
I saw that like pretty much immediately after that exchange, or I guess the exchanges are still kind of going back and forth, but after that initial exchange, even Trump like put out on Truth Social, like, hey, just so you know, I'm not affiliated with this Laura Loomer person. She's just a private citizen. She can have her own thoughts. I'm not associated with her. And it's like, buddy, you're very clearly sleeping with her. Like,
yeah, she very literally obvious. Got off the plane in where was it? Pennsylvania, where they just had that
debate? I think so, yeah.
Yeah, when they landed, she got off the plane. Like,
yeah.
What, you think the Secret Service is just allowing crazy people who you don't know onto your fucking plane?
Well, I mean, they did allow him to almost get shot, so maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, he did throw a burger at them and got ketchup all over their nice government suits, and that was probably motivation enough, like
that's
to allow him to get his ear pierced.
I want to circle back to the Haitian immigrants thing just real quick, just to kind of close that loop. JD Vance is saying like, or I guess it was actually Trump at one of his most recent little rally speeches, whatever. He's like, we're going to start the mass deportation in Ohio, but those 20,000 Haitian immigrants are all there legally. Like that was part of a legal. So I guess I just don't understand. He's gonna like kick out legal citizens of the United States.
Yeah, that's the thing, and same with the Venezuelans. Like all of them are here legally. Like they've all fled political violence that largely exists in their home country because of our foreign policies.
Yeah,
like if you don't like immigrants coming, especially asylum seekers, maybe don't bomb their fucking countries, don't fund their drug cartels to take over the government. Like, those are all American-made arms that are flowing into their country, and people are flowing out of their country. Like, it's a pretty simple solution. I mean, I feel for the dumb rednecks of Springfield who were in that Turning Point USA video. Like, they're all complaining because they're poor as shit and their town hasn't had any funding, And there's literally no future for anyone living in small towns like that. I know. I've lived in several small towns in Arizona that are very, very similar. And people are poor, and it sucks, and the government doesn't subsidize any programs to help people out. That sucks. So stop voting Republican, you fucking idiots. Like, stop voting for the people that are gonna bomb their fucking countries.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason we let asylum seekers into this. Like, it's fucking wild. But yeah, that's the state of politics these days, and Trump really, really got his ass handed to him, and that was very entertaining to watch.
My favorite meme that's come of the debate, and it's been used in so many different forms. It's like when you ask your husband when he's planning on getting those chores done, or when your boss asks how your work day is coming along, and it's like, well, I have concepts of a plan.
Yeah. I can't believe you. I mean, I should believe that. I do believe. Like, I watched it live. I'm just surprised that anything he does surprises anymore. But that one definitely caught me off guard. Like, I did a spit take when he said that.
I almost actually feel empathy for him, because the way that he said it, like the way that he goes from like he's just getting drilled by these moderators, and the moderators finally like, so yes or no, do you have a plan? The way that he says, well, I have a concept of a plan, was like so childlike. It really felt like watching a little kid being kind of scolded by their parent, going, well, I thought that I was doing the right thing, or that I'm planning on doing it. Like, almost kind of actually feel bad for him in that moment, throughout the whole debate, but especially in that moment. I think for the first time, he felt small. Like, I saw him, I've always seen him as a small person, but like to the masses, he was small, and he was intimidated, and he was backed into a corner.
And I think more so than, like, I guess in equal parts, it was obviously yet another indictment against Trump and Republicans and everything that they stand for. It was also a huge, like, spotlight on how terrible CNN is these fucking days. Like, yeah, Biden couldn't have been helped. Like, his brain had literally melted out of his ear onto his shirt and was a puddle of just gray matter dripping down his ankles about 5 minutes into that debate. But CNN, like, still was sucking his dick the entire, like, Trump's dick the entire time. And, like, it's weird how right-wing they've suddenly become. Like, they will not push back on anything that's a clear lie. They give equal parts to this guy saying Haitians are eating your parakeet to the guy that's saying, no, they aren't. Okay, well, that's all we have time for. Now it's time to check in with Aurora. What's happening up there? Oh, I just had my ass fucked by a Venezuelan immigrant. I'm a Venezuelan immigrant, and I've been hanging out with him all day. That didn't happen. Okay, and back to Springfield. Like, fuck you guys. Like, I swear, like, it was another big story how, like, all these supposed independent, like, news media sites, like the right-wing ones, are taking in dark Russian money. I feel like CNN should definitely be investigated too. I mean, like, they're taking in ad revenue on top of Russian money for sure.
I've noticed too, like, definitely not to the same extent, but it's almost been the opposite for Fox News, with the exception of, like, your big figureheads at Fox News. Some of the, like, smaller journalists, I've seen more example. I guess what I'm trying to say is I've seen more examples of Fox News being like, no, like, what Trump is talking about is wrong. It's not happening. He's fucking crazy. then I've seen CNN. Like you're absolutely right. Like lately, CNN's been like, oh yeah, like let's give coverage to this, whereas Fox News all of a sudden has been like, that shit's not actually happening. Let's focus on like real issues. What the fuck?
Well, it's because Fox flew too close to the sun with the election denial shit, and they're out $1 billion because of that. Like, they ended up getting their balls chewed off of them to the point where they had to kill their golden goose, Tucker Carlson. Because they I mean, they're still fucking crazy. If you tune in like
sure.
prime time, you're gonna get like the Sean Hannitys and like the straight up Nazis. Like, but they have always had like daytime hosts that, I mean, not like I'm watching Fox News all day, but definitely the sane people. Like, you could tell that they're sane just reading Nazi talking points.
Yeah.
But then CNN has, like, they're just chasing the heights that Fox News got to before their downfall. I mean, they're still a fucking mega giant in the industry, but like CNN really wants that bag, and they are chasing after it shamelessly. Like the young, like it's more sad though to see like it happen to independent news sources too. Yeah. Like the Young Turks, I mean, while they've never been great, are clearly chasing after Russian money, and they're not even right wingers. Like they used to be supposedly socialist and actually have pretty good talking points every now and then. Now fucking Anna, that blonde chick that co-hosts with Jank, like is having public meltdowns because someone referred to her as a birthing person. Like, not her directly, but as a person with the uterus, referred to anyone with that condition as a birthing person. Lost her fucking shit. And now, like, they're, like, way anti-Ukrainian, and it's fucking silly.
Yeah, but it's an interesting world. You mentioned being shameless, and if you're okay with it, I'd love to talk just a couple of seconds about Elon Musk. Specifically, I guess we could talk a lot about Elon Musk, but specifically his reaction to Taylor Swift endorsing Kamala Harris. So you probably saw Taylor Swift put out an Instagram post. We can put a picture of it here or wherever. That post in and of itself, or maybe here, I don't know. Couple of things that are funny about that post. First off, that post garnered a response, of course, from JD Vance, who's like, I don't think that people care what billionaire celebrities who are out of touch with reality have to say about politics, as he's running alongside the most out of touch billionaire celebrity. But that post, that singular post, I guess within like hours of it being posted, sent nearly is like 400 or just under 500,000 people to check their voter registration. Like, so that post made a difference. Whether or not we actually see the results of it will be interesting, but it definitely got people going. And for Elon Musk, his whole like, oh, don't worry, Taylor, I'll give you a baby. That was so fucking weird.
To follow that up with like what essentially is just a rape joke directed at Taylor Swift, like just insinuating he's gonna rape her. Like, oh, okay. I mean, if you insist on fucking killing yourself, who am I to say that that's not the right thing for you specifically to do, Elon? I don't know. I feel like just letting them do all of the weird fucking shit, like, call it out, of course, as it happens, but they really are trying to die on just the weirdest fucking hills, I guess. They all want to be hill people and die is what essentially the Republican Party is these days.
I just want to know what the end game is, because they have to understand that everything that they're doing is just creating a larger and larger bomb that eventually is going to implode and it's destroying any chance of him winning. So what is the end game?
The end game is literally a 1,000-year Fourth Reich that lasts thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and the white man will rise again, and everyone's going to be super stoked about it. But I mean, it's just not like they're not living in the same reality as me and you. No. I mean, your mind has to be pretty fucked to get there in the first place. But
I just hope that come November, when Kamala Harris wins, because we know that she's going to win, regardless of what the polls say, if you are a voting person, still get out there and go vote. If you've made it to the end of this video, that's my message for you. Check your voter registration, go vote. If you vote on election day and you are in line and polls close, you can still vote, so go vote. But anyway, I just hope that come election day, when everything's certified and we're done, that it is a peaceful operation and that we don't see Jan 6, 9/11 2.0.
Yeah, well said. And sorry, I've just been told by our producer we are legally required to tell you that this podcast is sponsored by the Democratic State of Korea, and the People's Republic of China, and that is how we get away with accepting foreign money. You just have to be honest about it, you know?
And that's what we here at Friends Are Weird are all about. Transparency, honesty, friendship, and Korean influence.
The real Korean influence, not
Correct.
the corporatist pig dog American ally Korea.
None of that K-pop.
Who will once again be reunited. But anyways, this was a lot of fun. I'm sorry for getting sick. I think I'm immune to it now. I'm not going to stop handling birds. But you got anything else to say, Joey?
I just want to say thank you to our listeners. If you enjoyed this, or even if you didn't, hit like, hit dislike, subscribe, follow, leave a comment. But more importantly, let's all wish James Stone a happy birthday. It's not his birthday, but one day it will be. And let's wish him a happy birthday. Happy birthday,
and
buddy.
A happy Kwanzaa to you.
Thank you,
friend. I can't believe what you said about Asian people earlier. That was really fucked up, Joey.
On that note, you all have a great rest of your day. Kisses.